Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Cookiecast. Today on Cookiecast, it's the Darkest Timeline podcast. Join me whilst listening to me, no doubt, rant about something that probably doesn't mean all that much. So yeah, this is Cookiecast, the Darkest Timeline podcast. Right, here we go. It's podcast. I nearly said it's podcast time. Let's do this. That's a flashback to the not so distant past. I don't know if the audio is going to be picking up the bird that's going mental. This is a new thing out the back of my house. A bird that seems to live out the back that is just, it's non-stop. It's just, I mean, if I'm quiet, I'm not sure if that's being picked up, but man, it just doesn't stop. So yeah, that's a new thing, started in the last few days. Super annoying. Actually think that the birds are tormenting the cats. On purpose. I've seen this bird today flying past the window every 2 seconds, and a couple of times hitting the window on the way past, whilst both cats were just sat desperately wanting to get out there. So yeah, that's a thing. Right, I'm looking at the list. Right, okay, so stuff that's happened in the last week. I coded the first of these podcasts. So this is Cookiecast, the Darkest Timeline podcast. Interesting experience. Been a few weeks since I'd recorded the first one. I'd always sort of thought, with no video, I might have to do something else. As time went on, I was like, oh, maybe I can put pictures in about what I'm talking about. And now I'm just super paranoid that I'm going to get done for copyright infringement because I put a picture in that I shouldn't have. I don't think I've stolen anything of anyone's. There is a couple of images that I'm like, well, those are the images of those things. I think any games that I mention, I might put a picture of the game up. There's a couple of Hollywood Babylon things that I put pictures of Hollywood Babylon. And now I'm just like, somebody who's going to listen to the podcast is going to be like, can't do that, you can't have that up there. And, my little podcast is going to get sued for copyright infringement. Don't know how it works these days. But yeah, I just get really sort of like, oh, I don't know. So that's a kind of wait and see on that one. If by the time this one comes out, something's happened about that, then I might have more of a story further down the line. But yeah, it was interesting sitting down and coding that first one, listening to what I'd been talking about that first time. A little bit whiny. Yeah, I was like, oh, maybe I should cut this bit out and cut that bit out. The fact that the whole podcast was just over half an hour, I was like, maybe just have to leave it in. But it was episode 1. It was me explaining things, maybe explaining a bit too much in some places. I'm not going to hash it out now, but yeah, I coded it. That'll go up from where we are now. It's 2 weeks away, but by the time you hear this, it'll have been out many weeks. So yeah, a little bit of time jumping around there. So that's podcast coding done with. So I've written a list. My aunt said to me this morning, she was like, oh, you're not doing this tonight, you're not doing that tonight. So it's a perfect opportunity to do your podcast. But it's a day early. And I was like, oh, I thought I had another day. Haven't written a list. Oh my God. An hour later, I went on the notes on my phone, literally just wrote a whole list of stuff. There was something else that I wrote while I was out shopping today. But that was basically in the space of 5 minutes, an hour later, wrote a list. Which, for me, it's kind of comforting because I'm like, well, I think this is like the 4th or the 5th episode. And I'm still able to come up with a list of stuff. No surprises, me moaning about things. So maybe I'm just, good at moaning about stuff. I can moan well. I have a lot to moan about. Yeah, that sounds about right. So, yesterday, went to Asda. Needed to get some dessert because we're going to Mike and Harriet's, and needed a loaf of bread. While I was there, I was like, pretty sure Leanne said that the daughter needs some clothes. Can't remember what. Text her. What was it that what clothes were needed? Oh, leggings. Right, I'll go and have a look. When me being me, let loose buying children's clothes, first thing I saw, picked up, had it in her size, perfect. Wasn't leggings. Then I was like, oh, these are like 3 little tops, cool, they're nice. Next thing was like, oh, they've got matching shorts, 5-pack of matching shorts. Cool, also not leggings. Oh, these are some leggings. Oh, and there's some leggings, I'll get both of those. Little pair of jeggings. I said to Leanne when I got back, I was like, that's just for me because I love like little babies in like little jeans. I think it's hilarious. And I'm sure there was maybe something else, another item of clothing. So took all of those to the counter, waited in the queue. Got to the lady. She like ran all the stuff through. She was like, "Do you want a bag?" I was like, "Nah." I was like, "Oh, by the way, I've already paid for the cake and the loaf of bread. Here's my receipt." She didn't seem overly bothered. I was like, "No, I don't want a bag." She was like, "I'll leave the hangers on. You can take them like that." So she was like, "Right, that's £30.50. Now, at the moment, I pay for pretty much everything on contactless. I use Apple Pay on my phone. Never have to get my wallet out. Never have to get my card out. Very rarely I have to use my PIN number, that sort of stuff. So I'm looking at the machine. I'm holding in my phone. I'm like pushing my phone near the machine. And the woman was like, "You're 50p over the limit." And I was like, what? And just not registering what was happening. Like, the machine's not doing what the machine should be doing. My phone's not paying for the items. And the woman said something, and I'm like, I don't understand what's happening right now. And then it all sort of clicked into place. But the way she said it, I was like, a bit rude. And it started bubbling and bubbling. I was like, normally, I'm like, oh, person was a bit rude. But for some reason, this moment in time, I was like, a bit rude. Maybe I should say, that's a bit rude, isn't it? Completely unnecessary. She could have just said, oh, you can't use contactless for this because you've gone over the limit of contactless. Contactless £30, you're £30.50p. You'll have to use your card. But all I got was, you're over the limit. So I'm like getting my card out, sort of a bit like, rude. So part of me is like, I'm going to have to say, I'm going to say, I thought that was a little bit rude, a little bit unnecessary. Part of me is like, I wouldn't do that, that's not who I am. I'd rather fester on it and just not say anything. And then come home and be like, the woman was really rude to me in Asda. And as I'm sort of mulling on the street, the woman's like, oh man. And she started talking to me. And it like sort of threw me because I was like, oh, I'm in the mindset of, oh, she was rude. She just starts talking. She's like, oh man, I hate it when that happens. I pay for everything on my phone now. Barely take my purse out. Sometimes I forget to take my purse, and it's great because you can just pay for everything on your phone. And we just had this like 2 or 3 minute conversation. There was nobody else queuing. It's not like I was holding a queue up. And I was like, yeah, I never used to use it. I was using cards, that sort of thing. Got into a situation where I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll give it a try. And I've never looked back since, to the point that there are some times that I'm convinced I can't remember my PIN number. She's like, oh, it's just, you need to remember to keep it under that £30 limit. And I was like, yeah, I didn't even register when you said the amount. I'm so used to paying with my phone that I tried to pay with my phone. And that was that. That was kind of the end. There was a bit more to it than that, but that was basically the gist. So I walked away from that like, yeah. Maybe I was, again, as with previous podcasts, maybe I was just too oversensitive at that point in time where I'm like, oh, she was rude. Maybe she was rude and then realised that she was rude and decided to correct it by having a conversation. I don't know. But there was that, and then there was a thing that happened today where I don't really like asking people for things, and I don't know how this sort of sounds, but like if I was in a restaurant, and that's not a very good example because I can't think of what. Basically, I'll tell you what happened, and then I'll go from there. This morning, I went to put aftershave on before leaving the house, before going shopping. Got out Monday aftershave, because my aftershave is categorised by days. Take from that what you will. And yes, I have an aftershave for every day of the week. So I'm like, Monday aftershave, get the Monday aftershave out. Oh, Monday aftershave is what I would call nearly empty. There's a third of a bottle left, but it's a little bottle. So I'm like, oh, third of a bottle, oh my God. So showed it to Leanne, I was like, oh my God, this is nearly empty. Panic ensued. And then I'm like, oh, well, maybe I don't have to wear that one today. I've got unopened, I've got an aftershave and then I've got another one unopened, so maybe I should be using the one that I've got more of anyway. So I put a different one on, and that was that. Leanne's like, well, we've got a load of Boots points when we bought stuff for the baby. And obviously, when I say we, when she bought stuff for the baby, she did it all through Boots, all these different deals, all of this, which resulted in a lot of Boots points. I was like, all right. She was like, well, we're going out towards Boots anyway. Why don't we go to Boots and see about getting you some aftershave with the Boots points? Okay, cool. Sounds good to me. So we went to Boots, went in, and I like aftershave. It's something that I have been into for 20 years. I like having the option to have aftershave. I used to have aftershave, like going out aftershave, that was it. And then I used to have like a going out aftershave and a weekday aftershave. That was cool. And then as I got older, I'd go, it's your birthday, here's some aftershave. It's Christmas, here's some aftershave. So I got to a point where I had a few different ones. And then I got sort of really into it. I go and smell it, and I spray the card, and I waft the card before I smell it. I give it a waft and stuff. Sniff the card, and I'm like, oh, this one smells like this. This one reminds me of that. Actually, so basically, when we went today, I'm like, smell some aftershave while we're here. There was a new Hugo Boss. I'd gone to get Hugo Boss. I think it's called Boss Bottled. The little, it's like a gold and the cap silver. Gone to get that. But there was a new one. There was two new ones. So I sprayed the blue new one. It's like, ooh, that's nice. That is nice. Then I sprayed the purple new one. I was like, ooh, that is fresh to start with. And then I said to Lara, I was like, smell this. The last hint of the smell that you get smells like mould. It was really weird. It was like, I don't like that. That's not nice. That's how it smelled to me. And I kept smelling it going, is that? It was just the very last, if you take if you sniff and you go, that point just before you stop the inhalation, I was like, that smells of mould. So we were talking and we were looking at the different options. Next thing, we're like, if there's a sign behind where I'm looking at these aftershows, there's a sign and it's like, buy a 50, 100 or a 200ml bottle of Hugo Boss, get a free bag. And it's not like a carrier bag, it's like what are they called? Like a carry-on luggage sort of size Hugo Boss bag. I'm like, that's cool if that's a thing. So like, okay. So we're looking. I start looking at the one that I'd gone there for. Lan's like, well, why don't you get the blue one, quote unquote, the blue one? It smelled nice. I was like, well, let me have another sniff. Sprayed it again, sniffed it again. I was like, actually, I really like this. I was like, yeah, let's do it. She was like, look, there's a sign there that says you get £10 off if you buy like a bigger size. So I looked and it was like, was it £50 for the 50ml? And then £65 for the 100ml, but £10 off was 55 quid. It's like, that's crazy. Yeah, let's do that. But there was this thing about the bag. So here's where I start going, okay. So there was a lady at the aftershave perfume counter she was serving. About to ask her, and then this other woman comes and starts. I mean, I do not know what this woman was doing. She seemed to be returning stuff whilst buying other stuff, whilst getting another thing, and she was just, one of those people that comes and takes the person who's serving like all of their time. They were gone for like 10 minutes, and this woman's phrase seemed to be, "Oh, can I just do that? Can you just do this for me because it's a special present?" And can you just have a look at this because I want to make sure because it's a special present. Like I've said before, I don't like to talk negatively about people, but it seemed like saying the phrase "it's a special present" gave more weight to her request. For me, took this woman away, and apparently when you go into Boots, there's like 90 people working there. But Leon's like, but they're in their areas. They can't come and serve you. They're in their areas. And I'm like, cool. They're in their areas doing absolutely fuck all. They're literally stood there doing nothing. Can't they take 2 minutes out of standing around doing absolutely nothing to come and serve us? Anyway, so at this point now, I'm just stood going, I'd gone to get some hay fever stuff as well, and Lamb wanted some shampoo. She was like, I'm going to go and get some shampoo. She went away, she came back, she was like, hey, these two shampoo things reduced to clear, £1.50. These two are like 2 for £9. I'm like, sounds great. I'm still waiting to speak to somebody about a bag, and at this point in time I'm like, oh, let's go to a different till. She was like, yeah, but what about your bag? I'm like, because at that point in time, I didn't want to have to ask somebody for this bag. And this is one of those things. There's a sign, hey, if you buy this, you get a free bag. So I work with the principle that I should have been able to go to any till, and it should have scanned through with a message saying, hey, this guy gets a free bag, or the person serving me at any till says, hey, I know for a fact that if you buy this, you get a free bag. Let me run and get you a free bag. I don't want to have to ask. And I don't know if that's like my social, I don't know. I'm sure there's a word for it. I can't ask that person to do that thing because, for want of a better way of putting it, that's their job. So I was getting a bit like, I don't want to have to ask this woman for the bag. And then the woman came back like ages later. She was like, oh, do you need any help? And I was like, oh yeah. I was like, you just got to do it. So I was like, look, the sign there says if I buy this aftershave at this size, there's like and I'm always coy about like, there's like maybe a free bag, is it? So she starts looking in cupboards, and then she's like, Mum, is it this? This looks about right. And then she's like, yeah. She's like, I'll put it all through for you now. And I'm like, cool. So she did that. Leanne paid. We ended up leaving with. I think we felt like some kind of bandit because the aftershave was 65 quid. There was like 5 quid's worth of hay fever stuff, about 13 quid's worth of shampoo, the free bag, which, I mean, it's a decent bag, and I think the whole lot came to like £65 and we couldn't work out what had happened. There was like money off here, there and everywhere, and we paid for it in points, so it was kind of free as well. So yeah, that was a thing that happened. I didn't want to have to ask for the bag. That's a thing. So let's have a look on the list. Coding podcast. We've done that one. Sorry, this is. I'm jumping up and down the list. So now I don't know what I have talked about and what I haven't talked about. And we've talked about Asda. So, what do you want next, people? Do you want me to tell you about how I recently bought a beard kit? Just gonna let that one sink in for a moment. Or hey, let's talk about tailgating. So, I should have a subtitle for this episode. Cookiecast, the darkest timeline podcast. My pet hates. Maybe in brackets, my pet hates. Something I've always found to be a bit. I don't know. It's a pet hate. People have pet hates. Leanne said to me today, one of her pet hates is seeing a child in a pushchair with no shoes on. I was like, okay, that's a thing. So I responded with, my pet hate is seeing a child in a pushchair that's too big. Like, when you see like 4-year-olds in pushchairs, that sort of thing. It's like, the child should be walking. Mainly went to Boots. We did our Boots thing. Got a bag, did I mention? Then we were like, got to go to Max's to return some stuff. That was a whole other thing. I'm not going to talk about that. We returned some stuff and we got some other stuff. Again, that's one of those things. Leanne was returning some stuff. I wasn't returning some stuff because I wouldn't be. I wouldn't return something. It'd have to be like I bought a dish and when I got it home, it was in 1,000 pieces for me to go, I'm going to have to return that. That kind of level of it's broken and I've paid good money for it, for me to return something. Again, take from that what you will. So when we were going to Marks and Spencer to return something, then we were going to go to Nero's, have a drink, and then go home. Cool, nice. I'd like to say sunny afternoon, but it was just about to rain. So we went to Marks's. As we were walking down to Marks's, I realised that there was like a mum and a girl walking behind us. So I have this thing, what I call tailgating. Now, in a place of work, tailgating's like if you swipe yourself in and somebody follows you in, like a member of the public follows you in, that's tailgating. Letting yourself in behind someone, tailgating. If you're doing it in a car, tailgating is like where you're right up behind someone. Or in racing, you tailgate to, there's aerodynamics involved, etc., etc. Tailgating when you're walking, for me, is when somebody walks directly behind you. I have this thing where I don't believe that anybody walks at the same speed. You either walk slower or faster than other people. Also, I don't want to be in other people's personal space. Like if there was me and another person that I was with, and then 2 other people that I was with, and they were walking behind, and I was walking with the other person, like a 4 dots on a dice sort of thing. That's fine. You're a group. You're all together. You're all doing the same sort of thing. But let's say you're in the exact same situation, 4 people walking together in 4 dots on a dice formation, but you're not with there's you two and two other people. I don't want to listen to their conversation. I don't want to be part of what's going on with them. So this like mother and this daughter followed us like all the, like I say all the way, like like 30 yards or something. We get into Marks and Spencer's, they're still following us. The mum, I don't know, maybe a little bit old, like a bit of an older mum, child, a little bit, young-ish, like, I don't know, let's say 10. I don't know. I don't do children's ages. You could show me, a cross-section of children. I couldn't pick out what age they are at all. I can do baby. That's a baby. That's a toddler. That's about it. So the mum and the kid, they're right behind, and I'm like, I don't need this in my life. I'm listening to this conversation. It's mind numbing because it's an older woman talking to a younger child, and it's like, I don't want to have to listen to this. I'm trying to have my own conversation. I'm like, either speed up and go round if you've got somewhere to be, or hang back a bit. I'm sure I heard something recently like pretend to tie your shoe, something like that. Just give me a bit of space. But they were right up behind, and I'm like, I'm pushing the pushchair, just like, seriously, just give me a bit of space. And your conversation's boring as well. On the flip side, if it had been like, two people and they were talking about, like, I don't know, robbing a bank or something, it'd be like, ooh, tell me more. So that was like I say, this is the pet hate episode. Although a lot of these episodes are my hatred for things. Okay, did I mention I bought a beard kit? We'll come back to that in a minute. So I'm trying to buy a new car. Oh God, I'm trying to buy a new car. Need a big car. It's as simple as that. Need a bigger car. So I need to say goodbye to my baby, my car that I love, and get a bigger car. I'm not, I love my car, but it's not like I'm like, oh, I don't want a new car. Thought I'd found a car and was just going through the motions. The motions are make sure car seats fit, and I need Ian to have a look at it so that he can give it the Ian thumbs up approval as far as it being roadworthy, and things like that. Let's not talk about the Arnold Clark incident. So going through the motions, but car salesman, surely this is an outdated concept. The car salesman. I went from, like, when I was buying my current car, I went no issue saying, I went from Arnold Clark, and I've never had such a bad shopping experience as that. It was awful. Any car salesmen that are out there listening right now, I'm sure there are many. Little word to the wise: if I walk away from an interaction with you feeling like I need to go and have a shower, that's probably not a good shopping experience for me, and probably doesn't make me want to come back. If you're trying to ram your sales technique down my throat, I'm probably not coming back. To me, it's outdated. I went from, like, Arnold Clark, where the guy was just wanted me to take the car. The car wasn't road legal, and he still wanted me to take the car. That's how bad it was. We left there. We were like, let's go and look at a couple of places. We looked at a couple of places and came across the car I own now. I was served by a woman, and it was a completely different experience. I feel like I emphasised woman there. It's not a sexist thing. I was saying to Lan the other day, pretty sure I agree with Joe Rogan. I think I am sexist, but against men. So I wasn't emphasising it as a woman, just saying I was served by a woman. She was lovely. one of the biggest contrasts I've ever experienced is trying to buy a car from Arnold Clark and then going to buy the car I've got now, and the complete difference. This girl was like, "It's a nice car." She got in the back. She was like, "Don't think anyone's ever sat in the back of this car. I might be the first person." Went on a test drive. It couldn't have been better. She couldn't have been more accommodating. So that's that. Found a car at the same place. Was like, perfect. I can take mine back there, get a new car from there. Big car, cool. Got there. I've been emailing a girl or a woman, whichever way you want to put it, that was there. I'm like, cool. I'm going to deal with one of the ladies. They'll sort me out because they sorted me out last time. Got there and they're like, "Oh, this guy's going to deal with you." And instantly I was like, "Oh, shit." Okay then. Young lad. I can say that now because I'm old. Young lad. And yeah. One, I wasn't overly interested in selling me the car, which wasn't a great start. I'm like, I need to know if the car seats fit in the car. I need to know how much you're going to give me for my car. I'm like, can you do those two things? Can I bring my car seats and test them, see if they fit? Yeah, that's fine. Cool. And can you tell me how much my car's worth? Oh, I'll do a valuation. Cool. Oh, it's going to take a while. Right. Can you ring me and let me know then? Oh, I'll check if I can do that. Okay. You need to ask if you can use the phone or what? Oh, just this guy here. He's my manager. All right. This gentleman wants to know if we can ring him with a valuation. And here's where things went downhill. Oh, I mean, how are you thinking of paying for the car? Are you going to be paying for it, or do you want finance? Because, finance. That's all I heard after that. Because presumably they get better commission on finance. And that's all I heard from that point on. You want to be getting this car on finance, don't you? You need some finance. And we were like, well, we need to know how much my car's worth. Yeah, we can negotiate on that, especially if you take it on finance. And I'm like, dude, you are seriously losing this sale right now. Luckily for them, the car was, as far as like mileage, price, and this, that, it's come down in price like twice in a week. All of this. It was winning over all of the cars in its range. So I'm like, I'm probably going to take this car. Took the car seats back, tried the car seats. They fit perfectly. Cool. I'm like, I need that valuation. Oh, yeah, definitely. We'll get it to you. I'll get the guy to ring you. Cool. Guy rings me. Oh, I just need to know when you're coming in. It's like, geez, come on. I just need to know how much the car's worth. And then I can decide how I'm going to pay for the new one. So he rang me twice. Ian went to have a look, couldn't find the car, and that's because the website listed it as white and it was silver, so that was awesome. So this afternoon I'm like, oh, I need to ring the garage, sort out try and go tomorrow. Was on the computer, I was like, oh, just double check. This car is sold. Of course it is. Drink break. Oh, I'm drinking so much at the moment. We're moving into the warmer weather, and suddenly I've remembered what water is. So yeah, that's the thing. I rang the garage, left a message making out like I was like, oh yeah, I just want to test drive that car and then buy it. So I imagine I won't hear back from them. Let Ian know that it's probably sold. Although when I checked again this evening, it actually just says that it's reserved. So I don't know if that might change things. Bit sort of like, oh man, because I was like, it was going to be simple. Go, take my car, part X, pay the difference, done. It's down the road, easy. Now I'm like, oh, let's have a look. Oh, that car looks nice. That one looks good. It's got low mileage. It's only 173 miles away. It's that sort of thing. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake. So yeah, I'm trying to buy a new car. Yeah, car salesman, outdated concept. You know, there are much easier ways to do the car process. I don't think the used car salesman, should be a thing anymore. So yeah, that's just my opinion. But I know a lot of people who would agree. So let's talk about this beard kit. I needed a beard brush, and saying that phrase in itself, I understand what that sounds like. Basically, I'm trying to grow a bit of a beard, and I've got an idea of the kind of beard I want. But when I've when I've researched it on the internet and watched multiple videos on YouTube, basically it's a case of you let the beard grow out, then you shape it, and then you let it grow, and then you shape it, and then like by about the third time, it's kind of the beard's taken on the shape of what you want. But simple thing, I have a hairbrush because I've long hair. So I'd like brush my hair with a hairbrush, and then I'm like, oh, my beard's a bit scraggly. I'll give that a brush it with the brush, walk away. Next thing I'm like, what's this? Oh, that's one of my head hairs embedded in my beard. Oh, okay. Oh, and there's another one. Oh, and another one. Oh, okay. And then like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm like, what's this tickling me? Oh, it's another of my head hairs that's been in my beard all day. So it was starting to get a bit like, kind of need a beard brush. So I've been looking online for weeks. Beard brush. Amazon, obviously. So I'm like, okay, you can get a beard brush for like 5 or 6 quid. Boar bristle beard brush, apparently that's the best sort of thing you want. So I'm like, okay. Mentioned to Lan, I'm like, looking for a beard brush. She was like, hey, what about this? And this beard brush was like 15, 16 quid or something. I'm like, whoa. Pretty sure I've seen like full beard kits for that sort of price. So I'm like, beard kit, let's have a look. So I had a look, there was like loads and loads and loads of different ones that come with different things. Some come with like a straight razor, but then when you read the reviews, all the straight razor reviews like, couldn't cut butter, stuff like that. Okay. And then one of the times I'd had a look, I stumbled across this thing, and it was like, this kit's amazing. It's like, I think it was about 16 quid, the price of the brush that Leanne had found. And it's like a beard brush, beard oil, beard balm, 3. That's right. No, I'm lying. 4 different combs. So let's count them down. A moustache comb where the handle is shaped like a curly moustache. Cool. This one, a comb that looks like a fold-away knife, but the blade, what would be the blade, is a comb. And then a wooden, like a long tooth, like a wide tooth on one end, on one side, and a finer tooth, wooden comb on the other side. So 4 combs. And then there was a bag, some scissors, styling, whatever, scissors. Probably forgetting something. All came in a box. I'm like, hey, this looks pretty cool. Like, even if some of it's not great quality, it's got a beard brush in, that's what I want. It's got a couple of other bits. I have been using beard oil to try and tame the beast. So I'm like, you know what? I've got a voucher on Amazon that I've been chipping away at recently. I'm gonna treat myself, because as I was saying earlier, buy things for children often, and don't often treat myself, because these days I find it really difficult to do that. Like I'm in that thing now where I'm like, I haven't bought any games for a while. When I buy something for myself, it does feel like, oh, I'm treating myself. So I was like, you know what, 16 quid, I can live with that. I ordered it. It came the next day. And I'll tell you this much, for £16 for what I was getting, I'm like, the quality will be shit. Couldn't be further away from what it actually looks like. The quality is awesome. So I go back through it. The moustache comb that's shaped like the handle shaped like a metal moustache is metal. So that straight off, I was like, whoa, that's heavy. Oh wow, that's metal. The folding knife thing, all of that's metal as well. Really nice, really sturdy. I'm like, cool. The brush is awesome, works really nice on the beard. The wood comb, I use both of those. That's all the combs. I haven't tried the oil or the balm. I'm not sure about a balm. Probably need to look into that a bit more. And I don't need to use the oil just yet because I've got oil on the go currently. The scissors, I'm like, the handles will be plastic, they'll be flimsy, they'll fall apart. Hey, so what? Again, couldn't be further from it. Metal scissors, metal handles, really sturdy, really good, nice and sharp. I've even used them. I styled and chopped and used the scissors. Tell you something. The bag's like a little Hessian sack. Comes in a box that's magnetized, so that you open it, take out what you want, and then it closes itself with a magnet seal. I'm like, for £16, this is a freaking bargain. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. I bought a beard kit because I needed a beard brush. I've been using beard oil for a while. I've been styling and shaping and cultivating a beard. I have long hair, and that long hair is undercut. So I've had to come to terms with the fact that I've been keeping a tiny little hipster locked away somewhere inside me, and I've reached a point where it's like I have to release the hipster. And I've had to come to terms with it. I think there might be a hipster hidden somewhere inside, and I'm finally letting that hipster out. It's a hard thing to say because, well, hipsters are up there with vegans on my list of, oh god, maybe I'm going to turn vegan next. Well, apparently the vegan diet's quite good for you. Well, there we go. I think I might have contracted hipster. Oh man, maybe it's that. I wonder if it's like an airborne thing. Oh man, I think I've caught hipster. On the flip side, beard kit, super cool, £16. If I'm doing like picture stuff for the podcast, I might actually find a picture of it and put that in this bit of the podcast. So yeah, that is that. I had to come to terms with the fact that there might be a little hipster that lives inside me that's currently trying to get out. I'm going to talk about one thing and then we'll go through like the fun stuff. I still haven't been to the gym. So that's another week gone by, no gym. So that's not good. However, I reached a point 3-4 days ago where I was like, yeah, I've had enough of this now. And I was like, right, okay, I need to get back to the gym. That is a given, and I'm going to do it. But I need to do something before I go to the gym. And that's put off going to the gym. No. I need to sort the eating out. The shortest version is I've been struggling with the food, and that, like a lot of other things, is a state of the mind, I suppose, the way things are at the moment. So I've been struggling with the eating, but I decided a few days ago it's time to sort that out. There's been a couple of things over the last few days where it's like, wow, that's how bad things are. So I'm like, okay, time to sort the eating out. So no sugar, try and eat in moderation, all that sort of stuff. And it's at this point in time, I was thinking about this evening, people go on about how sugar is like 5 times, 10 times more addictive than cocaine. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. Because essentially at this point in time, I'm trying to give up something that's more addictive than cocaine. Because, cocaine's never been mentioned about how addictive it is. So yeah, that's like thing. Somebody used to say to me about how the problem with giving up, the difference between giving up heroin and giving up eating bad stuff is you don't need heroin to live, but you're supposed to have 3 proper meals a day. I've been trying to eat breakfast a bit more, and yeah, this evening I made a meal. Tried to keep it as healthy as possible. Tried to keep it substantial as well. I have this thing like I need to feel full, so I don't need to eat anything else. And then I had like fruit and yogurt for pudding, and I was okay with that. That was cool. But yeah, I definitely do feel like I'm trying to give up cocaine at the moment. It's not the first time I've been in this situation. I'm hoping that the drive and determination's there, and that I can sort of keep going. And the next step is if the eating goes okay, get back in the gym, and I'm just going to go and do cardio. No weights. Weights is like my thing, but weights ain't gonna shift all of this weight as well as cardio will. So I need to get in the gym, I need to get some cardio done, and then I need to shed some of this weight and then look at getting back to doing the thing that I enjoy the most, is going to the gym, which is doing the weights. So yeah, stay tuned for gym updates, because hopefully as time goes on there will be gym updates. Right, let's talk about fun stuff. Not playing a super high amount of games. I'm playing a bit though. I realised when I was listening to the podcast that the first one of these that I'd done, I'm like, I'm not really playing any games. And I was coding it while Liam was there, and I could feel that sort of, yeah, you're not playing any games. And it's like, I used to play games every day, because as I've said before, that's how I used to decompress. That's like my go-to thing, other than go in those days, going to the gym. I'd go to the gym, I'd play games, do all that stuff. Cool. If I say, I'm not really playing games these days, what I mean by that is I'm not playing games every day, because that's how I used to play. But I am playing the Division 2 still, so that might give you some indication. I am very close to being able to give a review. I reached level 30 today, and that's like the level cap, and I've got like one area to finish up, a few missions to do, and then like a couple of what I think might be big missions. I think they're like strongholds, don't know what they're like. Give those a whirl, and then that'll be sort of that done. I don't intend to do any online stuff. I will give you a review once I feel I've finished it. I can tell you now, it's not going to be glowing, but it will be as best a review I can give for a single player man playing a multiplayer game. So yeah, I'm still playing it, which is more than I can say about when I played the Division 1. I never maxed it out, and that was a bit of a bone of contention. So yeah, I'm still playing it. I got a super cool gun today. Like I've been sort of working through this type of gun that's like a single shot. It's not like a rifle. I suppose it is like a rifle. It's not a machine gun basically, but it does take a clip, single shot. And the one I had before this one, it was like you'd shoot people like 3, 4, 5 times and that'd kill them. This one, if you shoot people right, you can kill them in one shot. Most people you can kill in 2 shots. So that was like, this gun is awesome. Doesn't take many bullets, takes like 6 bullets, so you have to reload it a lot. But you know, swings and roundabouts. So yeah, Division 2, still ongoing. Maybe by next week I'll be able to give you a review. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Right, I haven't... Now then, before I start telling lies, I haven't watched any movies this week, so that's going to make a movie section of the podcast difficult. Although, I have got stuff written down here. Haven't watched a lot of stand-up. Rewatched the Christina P thing with Leanne, because I didn't know if she might find it interesting. She did not. I must have had a day working from home, which means that I will have rewatched some. I think I was working through the Tom Segura stuff. And I think me and Leanne watched the Anthony Jeselnik stuff again. Did I talk about Wanda Sykes? Was that last week? I might have done the Wanda Sykes one. Yeah, short version is I haven't watched any new stand-up, so I can't recommend you a stand-up this week. Watch the Christina P one. I really liked it. Actually, I watched a video earlier, a clip of Tom Segura, Christina P, and Married, both comedians. I've probably covered this before. They do a podcast called Your Mum's House. Every now and then they've got guests on and stuff. Sometimes it's just them. And I watched a video earlier. It was like a clip of them talking about how Tom Segura realised that Christina P was not a ride or die wife, because she said she'd turn him in if he premeditated a murder and then murdered someone. She'd turn him in an instant. But wouldn't turn him in if it was like an accident. She'd help him hide the body. So that was like a 10-minute video. It was hilarious. I've never bothered with Your Mum's House podcast because I'd seen like a clip, or I'd listened to a clip at some point, and I didn't find it overly interesting. I have, however, this evening gone and downloaded some select episodes with like guests that I'm sort of interested to listen to. They do a few with Bert Kreischer, so I was a bit like, oh yeah, I'll give that a listen, that'll be good. So I'll just have a quick jump into it and tell you some of the ones that I've downloaded 9 episodes apparently. Bert Kreischer, Joey Diaz, Bill Burr, Mark Maron, Brad Williams, Brendan Schraub, Big Daddy Kane from a joke that Tom Segura does in one of his stand-ups, Bert Kreischer again, and Joey Diaz again. So I'll probably give those a listen at some point. Speaking of podcasts, had a notification come up today. Our new episode available. I was like, cool. Well, it's Monday, so I presume it'll be Bill Burr. No. The episode that was available was Hollywood Babylon, recorded live in Manchester, UK at the Apollo Theatre on Sunday, the 12th of the 5th, 2019. Why is that significant, boys and girls? Because that's the one that me and Magic Mike went to. So that'll be worth a listen. So yeah, podcasts are plenty. I'm currently trying to get through the Harmontown backlog that I've got from when I was off work with the little one. I've got through the Bill Burr backlog, but as I've mentioned before, if you leave Bill Burr long enough, it just turns into a backlog. So I'm trying to get through the stuff. Going whilst I'm at work, I get the opportunity to rinse podcasts because it's definitely a earphone environment at work at the moment. So yeah. So I haven't watched any movies this week. I was feeling a bit twitchy this evening. I was like, maybe I could watch a film this evening. It's difficult to watch. I don't sit downstairs anymore now. Now I sit upstairs. But upstairs, I've got like the entertainment unit. I've got the 55-inch TV, the surround sound, which I can't really get the benefit from if the baby's asleep in the next room. So I don't bother. I put a game on real quiet. But there are some things that I've seen in the media this week that I did want to cover. So, Godzilla King of Monsters has come out. I'm super excited to see this film. It looks fucking awesome. Which means it'll be shit, I know. But it doesn't change the fact that it looks really good. Me and Sam watched Godzilla Final Wars, which is Godzilla fights all the monsters. Basically looks like an American remake of that. Looks great. Will probably be terrible. But I'm like, this is like a big movie. Big movie. It's big monsters. Big. Big. I suppose it kind of needs like a big screen. I saw a trailer and at the end it was like, see it in IMAX. And I was like, yes, see it in IMAX. So I've been Googling around. Nearest IMAX is Castleford at Escape. So I went to their website. The next thing they're like, you need to see this film in 4DX, baby. And I'm like, oh, I've heard about this. So this is this thing where you get like, I don't know if the film's in 3D. That would probably make sense. But then you get like the seat that you're sitting in moves and you get wind like blowing in your face if there's wind on the screen, and water sprays you, and you get like, I think the smell as well. So yeah, 4DX. So I was looking at that and it would cost, not including petrol or any food or drink, it would cost, did I say it was going to cost me 25 quid? Or was that... Oh, now I'm starting to wonder. It wasn't cheap. It might have been 20 quid. And I'm like... But it's like a one-off. And I'm prepared to drive to Castleford. I've got no issues with that. I'm prepared to pay the petrol to drive there. I'd probably... I might even do drinking a popcorn for this kind of thing. You know, the full-blown movie experience. I might go down that route. I think I might be prepared to spend £25 to go and see this. Which then, when I'm like, it's going to be shit, it's like, But I'm hoping it's not. I'm hoping it's going to be good. And yeah, I think I need to convince Sam that we need to go to see it in 4DX. I don't think he'll want to. So yeah, looks like I'm going on my own. 2 announcements that I saw this week. One is that in the summer, Netflix will be showing the Invader Zim movie that's still in production. I presume they're finishing that up. Just have a quick drink, 2 seconds. I say it every time, but it's the hardest thing, podcasting on your own. Invader Zim movie. Yes, please. Again, probably be shit. It's been a while. It's been a moment, as they say, since Invader Zim was banned as deemed unsuitable for children. But I loved Invader Zim. Loved Invader Zim. I love you, Biggie. I love you. So I'm really excited for the opportunity to see more Zim. Never know, might get a series out of it, especially if Netflix are involved. Netflix will throw money at anything. That's why they're so in debt. So yeah, stay tuned for that one. I'll probably do a review for that. And then what I consider to be potentially sad news. It's always been on the cards and I've had to accept that. What was kind of comforting to me was that anytime I ever heard a mention of this happening, it always went, oh, it's just too difficult, it's too hard. This person's on board, this person wants to do it, oh, this person's involved. At one part I heard that Leonardo DiCaprio wanted to like fund this film being made, all of this sort of stuff, whatever. It was comforting to know that it was struggling to get off the ground, so that we didn't have to deal with the fact that it has been announced this week that they are going ahead with the Akira live action movie. Taika Waititi from Thor Ragnarok, What We Do in the Shadows, Flight of the Conchords, I think. Not one I know, but I think he was one of them. Has been lined up to direct, known for his comedy, as Luke said. Terrified at the thought that they're actually now going to go ahead and make Akira live action. I've already said, categorically will be terrible. And in 2 years' time, when I sit and watch it and go, oh my god, it's amazing, I'll eat those words. But it will be terrible, because you've got two choices when making a live action anime. Do you do a page to screen remake, a frame by frame remake of the books, the anime, or that sort of stuff, or do you use your artistic license and change it? Neither of those are a winning formula, because if you do a page to screen remake, if you do a this is what happened in the movie, so we're just going to do it with live action, somebody's going to go, well, we've seen that already, we didn't need to see it in live action. If you change it, you're going to have millions of nerds going, why did you change it? There was no need to change it. It was perfect as it was. So you're never going to win. The problem being is when it's just shit. Because then you're like, well, it was just shit. I was a little sad to see that had been announced. I like Taika Waititi's previous stuff. Ragnarok is fantastic. What We Do in the Shadows is great. I love his portrayal of Korg. Hello, my name is Korg. I am made of rocks. All of that's great. But is he the right person for the Akira live action movie? Who knows? I suppose we'll find out soon. So that brings me to the end of my list, my hastily prepared list. Again, another podcast done, which warms my black little heart somewhat. It's nice to see that it's still managing to do it. So tune in next week, which I'm sure will be me ranting and raving about bad driving. Oh my god. I had a day of terrible driving, nobody indicating, people changing lane, all the usual stuff I moan about. However, yours truly decided it was a great idea to try and pull out into another car. And I still maintain I looked in that mirror 30,000 times before I made the decision to pull out. And the only reason I knew what was happening was because the car beeped me and Leanne noticed that I was about to drive into another car. That car was not there. So, bad drivers unite, I guess. I guess I can now add myself to the list of bad drivers. This was also after curbing one of the alloys as well. That was an amazing experience. So yeah, I'll end on that. I've got nothing else on my list. I've confessed to being one of the bad drivers. I'm sure people like Tom would have nothing to say about that. Yeah, and before I start rambling on and on and on, trying to find an end to the podcast, I will just end it there. I'll speak to you next week, and until then, I'll say goodbye. So there you go then, what do you think to that? Another one in the bag, another week gone, another podcast done. Yeah, cool. Thanks for joining me, and all you YouTube watchers, not much to watch on this one, but thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, drop me a comment, tell me how much you love the podcast. Everybody jump over to the Cookiecast.com, send me some social media love, send us all some social media love, drop us an email, tell us how you're getting on. Tell me when you're going to come on the podcast, how about that? So yeah, there we go, a week gone, a podcast done, and all that good stuff. Until next time, I'm going to say bye, and I'll see you then. Bye.